Okay, hello everybody. We are back with another episode of the podcast. I just realized that's going to be showing the wrong thing on Discord. Let me just that up real quick. We got myself, Saykoya and Mastro this week. We're going to be talking about a few different things, but I just want to give a quick intro. But yeah, it will be actually change the text on this. Wait, didn't say sneaky. Oh yeah. But anyway, we're going to get into it. I'm going to unmute the call and hope they're not talking about something they shouldn't be, and then yeah, we'll get into it. Hello,
Well, not really nice, but
we're now
Hey,
live.
we're live. So nobody's gonna know what was not really nice.
Excellent. Welcome in everybody. We got Mastro and Saykoya. Do you want to give yourselves a quick hello before we get into this?
Hey, I'm Mastro. I occasionally play the game.
I played the game a bit more than Mastro, and that makes all the difference, really.
It does.
Exactly.
It does. But first topic, and this is gonna be a relatively short one, just because we've got the round one matchups to get into, and that's kind of like the main focus of this week's podcast.
Actually, should we do the map thing first?
Uh,
Because we can get it out of the way quickly
no,
and
like
then.
TYM's gonna be pretty quick as well, and the map thing's related to the championship, so we'll keep all the championship stuff together. But yeah, TYM August signups are
Oh,
open.
DYM. I
Um,
didn't. I forgot about DYM completely.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, TYM. It's signups are open. I'll do a post announcement later tonight. Uh, and we're gonna do something a little bit different this time. We're doing naval maps. Largely just because like people who don't like naval are playing in the tournament and aren't playing TYM right now, so this is a good opportunity to get some testing in without people complaining about the maps not being to their tastes. So yeah, that's basically it. We got 3 standard maps and a fog map, and they're kind of like different types of naval. One's got naval throughout the map, one's got naval on the sides, one's got kind of lighter river based naval combat for the most part. So that's basically it. Signups are open. I did some tidying up on the page, so event pages are going to look more like this from now on, with little drop down menus instead of it just being giant walls of text. And
Yeah,
yeah,
looking pretty sharp.
yeah, I really like this particular thing when it comes to the event pages. I should have been doing this a while ago because I was doing it with other events, just not TYM. Um, but yeah, it just makes the page look a bit nicer, and I also need to give out prizes for earlier TYMs. I haven't forgotten. I'll do that probably Sunday actually. Gonna do a bonus stream then. So yeah. Any thoughts from either of you before we move on?
I didn't actually check it yet. I've been kind of pausing TYM because there's another event happening right now.
Yeah. Same.
uh, I did still like get a few games in, so
Oh, you
in
played on
like
the
the
maps.
current one, yeah.
Oh, Paradise Lost. I played at some point. Hmm. I mean,
I think I just got like 3 games of Gigantic Ice Field this time, and that's about it.
Gigantic Icefield was previous TYM, right?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
jelly one.
Or
Um,
wait, am
right.
I? Well, whatever.
Any thoughts on Paradise Lost, Master?
I mean, it's weird. Like I always thought the map could have potential, but like first time I saw it, I hated it. Second time I saw it, I hated it a bit less. But like I never liked it too much. But I can see that it could be a good map in theory, right?
Yeah. I mean, we'll never know until we try it. So,
It's such
um,
a Mastro thing to say.
I mean, yeah, that's how I view maps. Sorry.
yeah, I mean,
It's also a war map, and I've been a fan of his maps ever since I played in Memoriam. So right? I'm remembering correctly. That is a warm up, right?
Yes,
Well,
it is indeed.
I think that's basically it. This is just kind of like a news segment more than a big discussion point. But yeah, we're doing some war maps. We might do another water map next time, but we'll probably do more of a land focus again. But you know, it's summer. We'll do a pool party thing. Lots of water.
Oh yeah, that's also funny. Yeah, summer is the time to do the water
Yeah.
theme.
But
Although no desert theme.
no
It
desert.
kind
I mean, people could play desert if they wanted to.
I know.
Anyway, that's it for TYM August. Feel free to go sign up.
Oh wait, did it sound like I was saying water map when I said war map? I meant war garbly map. Yeah,
Right.
it's also water map.
But
I just listened to Barrett say water after, and I'm like, wait, that sounded almost the same.
it does, especially with my accent.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get into the championships. I'll bring up the championship page. So we got the bracket. But before we go into the bracket, there is something to talk to people about as far as like tournament updates. It was brought to my attention that there was an issue with one of the maps. One of the map team members messaged me and said, "Hey, there's some turn advantage here. We think I think it's like FTA right now on the current version." And they messaged
Yep.
me and said, "Hey, like we've noticed there's some FTA. Like we figured out how to adjust the map in a very small way without kind of breaking things. Um, we don't want to end up in a situation like was it Groove of War 4? I think it was.
It
We
was for.
Yeah, we made some drastic changes to maps. Mid
I mean,
event.
it was supposed to be a small one.
Well, there were two changes because Cloak and Dagger got changed as well.
All right.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
that
there were
one
that
a
was the
bit
tournament where
bigger.
two maps got changed, and it was uh a bit of a nightmare, and it's not something I ever really want to see happen again. So in this case, it's a relatively small change. Player two gets 50 gold, and I think some like a very small amount of groove charges being given to the commander.
Yeah, because player one sword caps on turn one, and player two sword is already capped.
Right.
So you need to give 4 groove, otherwise player one just gets that 4 groove from capping.
Yeah.
P2 never gets.
But yeah, it's mostly like due to the way we were doing things in Wargroove 1. In Wargroove 2, it's probably less important. But
It's
it's
almost
still.
irrelevant, but just
I
in
mean, I
case.
think Commander
They
still
were
gets
changing.
like something like 8 from capping a building. So when that happens,
I think it's 10,
can
but whatever.
can have an impact.
But
Um,
yeah, very minor change, but it should help alleviate any kind of turn advantage, and it shouldn't mess up the map drastically like previous map changes have happened with
Also, I have no clue what the main thing was. We just added the groove part since they were already changing it for the gold. I don't know what the gold is
Oh,
wanted to change.
you didn't do your locus homework, huh?
Well, they were asking me to prep yesterday, but I was building my PC, so I couldn't. Not to prep, to check the line out because people found the line and
I
they were like,
see.
wait, is this line broken? Mastro, test with me. And then I'm like, nope.
Hey, Saykoya, do you have more information on it?
Well, basically, if you went like, if you rushed, like if player one built a merfolk like as soon as they can, and then like built a kraken right afterwards, then, well, basically the kraken and the merfolk decap the village before the commander arrives. And then, like, when the commander wants to get involved in the corner, you kind of just, you're kind of already there. So you don't, you, like, you've already done half the work of pushing the commander away.
Wait, but if you do
And
that, don't you miss your heal? Or can you still heal?
no, yeah, that's the thing. You can still do everything just fine.
Hmm.
And then it's like, And then if your opponent like isn't familiar, you can also like kill their mage for free. If they cap from like if they have a weird like you have to know about it to not get your mage killed, so that's a thing.
Yeah,
You
mage can
can
cap
still
from the
cap the corner of
mountain,
it. Yeah.
right?
But yeah.
So how does the 50 gold play into that?
So basically player 2 couldn't like get the merfolk with the same timing. Because they were missing 50 gold. That's about it.
Oh, okay. So
Now they
And
can.
yeah, now
Interesting.
they can.
And can they
And
also heal
basically,
at the right time?
well, the openings aren't like strictly symmetrical because like so much money is going into one side of the map. So it's I would say it's still like more comfortable to play as player 1, but it's not like as big of a deal as it was before.
I'm not sure about the
Um,
heal because I hadn't seen this exact line, but I do remember that as P1 it was more comfortable to get like a big build early and heal. And as P2 it wasn't as easy to do that.
yeah, that's basically it. Uh,
okay, so this should even it
the
out a
thing
bit
is
more.
like if you give even more gold to P2, then it opens up some other options and it starts getting dangerous. So I said, 50 is probably safer.
So basically, map still bad. I don't know. I mean,
Okay.
whatever. Yeah, you don't want to change them up too much, and we'll see what happens. I mean, even changing them up a little, it's like it feels weird inside an event. Then again, in previous events, when we find broken stuff, I just get free wins.
Yeah, I mean, in this case, it was just like it's such a
Except
small
when you don't.
fix, and there's a very clear like P1 can do this, P2 can't if like they mirror each other. So
Yeah.
yeah, and 50 gold is like that kind of threshold where like 100 gold changes the unit options like that you can build early on, whereas like 50 doesn't impact that as much. In particular, like to do with barracks and that kind of thing. So
Yeah, very few units
it
are
really is
now
just the
open.
merfolk because that's
Yeah.
the only one that really has like a plus 50 on it. It's like technically harpoon ship, but like nobody's building a harpoon ship early on. Maybe
Yeah.
Pike,
frog,
but who
but
opens
I
Pike?
mean, yeah, pike and dog, but these usually like don't really impact early
Yeah.
openings.
oh yeah, you don't really build a dog in the opening and like clear view, right? Like in fog, technically, yeah, but I guess it's gonna impact the fog meta of Locust, but oh well.
I think the fog meta will be fine.
But yeah, I mean, and it's not like we saw player 1 win every game on Locust. I mean, I'm
So
gonna have to
yes,
go back
fog
and check.
meta of Locust would be you never build Kraken because you might have built Kraken, so they can't go anywhere that Kraken could be, right?
Well, I guess you go. Well, they can hear it. I'm not sure if Kraken makes a different sound than Barge, actually. But they can hear if the Kraken is hitting the village on its way, I guess.
That's true. That's true.
Oh yeah, you want to turn combat animations on in fog. You get to see the actual
Oh,
animation, don't you?
right. Because that's your village, so you do actually see.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of brilliant. Wow, folks. Just oh no. I guess no pick up the villas in fog then.
Oh, you could technically do it, but yeah, I mean, whatever.
Anyway, I
We're
mean that was all a joke. Let's move on to
yeah.
the
Let's move on to the actual.
the real part of the podcast.
Yeah, so we got a bunch of round 1 matchups to talk about. I think we only covered Zested Sneaky Dragon and oh yeah, we covered the Derek thing because like that match didn't happen, so it was just Zested Sneaky Dragon and
Yeah. So let's start from the top. Right?
trying to remember what was the other match we covered?
Hmm.
Yeah. Let me double check. Warble MV8KM, that was also
Yeah.
covered last week. Okay. So yeah, we can start from the top. Saykoya versus Mr. Cat.
Yeah. So last week game one had been played, but the set wasn't over yet, so we didn't talk about it. Speaking of game one, that game one was one of the most exciting games of the tournament.
It was very
Yeah.
exciting. I don't necessarily know if it should have been, but It was
Yeah,
pretty exciting.
probably shouldn't have been.
Oh,
I
come on.
mean, yeah, Saykoya started with an advantage, and it was on Gilgamesh, a map pretty easy to stall. But then Mr. Cat somehow got a big attack, and he didn't even really have the best attacking units. He had like troopers, but still, his attack would have
Yeah,
worked. But
I
Saykoya
mean,
killed his only mage. Build mages, guys. And then the game became like back and forth, and eventually Saykoya outgrinded.
There were definitely moments where it's like, or you were just dead. Like if Mr. Cat played like the trap a bit better, like he would have just died.
yeah, Mr. Cat definitely had like winning plays at some points and slightly messed it up, and I managed to slip through, I guess, in a few cases. One was like a fight optimization. The other was a trap, like Mr. Cat's not realizing that you have to trap Sedge differently.
Yeah,
But
the
yeah,
tier 2 groove changes things quite a bit. Even tier 1 would change how you try to trap. It's a wild trap. Um, you also missed a lethal at some point. Well, classic, right? Oh, you missed two
I
lethals
mean,
actually. Yeah, you missed one, and then the other one you didn't miss, but you failed it. You knew what the right move was, and then you did the other move.
yeah, I mean, I think it feels like that first game kind of reminded me like it feels like I was getting too comfortable with the game and I was like, oh, I need to remember how to actually play. Huh.
I mean, you were also like playing super tired at like what 5 a.m. or something after
Yeah,
messing up your sleep schedule and
I'm
stuff.
not sure I'm not sure how much impact that had, to be honest. I mean, we'll never know really.
I mean, I
But
think it
yeah,
showed in your play, but maybe it didn't. Maybe you disagree.
But I
But yeah,
mean,
game was interesting, and it's very interesting from a CO power standpoint. Like you would think that Sedge is just stronger than Greenfinger and Gilgamesh, but here Sedge with a pretty decent lead, and when Zawan was not really building the most aggressive units, I mean Zawan still got a very decent attack.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like I look at this, like I'm watching it on the replay just now, and yeah, like there was a really good tier 2 groove, did lots of damage, and really looks like Saykoya was struggling. But once said, I said just game plan is you get to tier 2, and then you start to play. So
I mean, yeah, what I'm saying is like Gilgamesh is known as a stolier map. So if Zawan can still do that well against Sezon on one of the stolier map, that's pretty good for Zawan, right? Not that I'm saying that Sej is just worse than Zawan and Gilgamesh, but before the match, I would be like, okay, this is a pretty big show advantage, Saykoya, knowing the map. But after
yeah,
the
but
match, I'd say
I
it's a lot
think
smaller.
I think it just reminded me that like in tournaments, like the games they're not necessarily more like all more aggro, but the games like the players apply way more pressure when they're playing, and I think that's the thing I had kind of forgotten from tournament play is that it's all about pressure and like I was kind of approaching the game like, oh, I have a late game commander, I'll just not take risks and I'll have the late game. And that works fine and all, but like when pressure is the name of the game, it's kind of hard to just get away with it. And also, what will happen is that in like outside of tournaments, what will usually happen is that if you have a late game commander, your opponent, like as soon as you start to stabilize, they'll kind of stop attacking because uh, it's risky to attack into a stabilized position. But in tournaments, people are way more aware of their win conditions, and they know that if they let if they let the late game commander stabilize, well, he's just gonna win. So even if you've already started to stabilize, players will still go in and try to, you know, disrupt your win conditions.
So people won't handshake bad game states as easy. Like I'm also guessing the opposite is true. That like people who might just be swept up by the flow and just fight, like try to be more proactive with their stalling, which sounds weird, but it can happen, right? Or
Yeah,
maybe it needs to happen to really stall against somebody who doesn't want you to
I
let you
mean,
stall.
yeah, I mean, usually like in tournaments, you like players have they have a more like long-term vision, so they're not like just looking at their units and going, oh, where can this go? They're thinking like in the next 2 3 turns I'm going to attack this area and send this unit over there, etc. And when that happens, like stalling one area is always like doable in every game, really, because like you just need to place your defensive units over there. But your opponent will always be looking at other areas and stuff. I think it's just that uh, Wargroove in general is a game that's a lot about like pressure, and defensive play is about like negating pressure or like forcing your opponents to get out of uh, their more favored positions because you have a win con that they don't.
I mean,
So
sometimes you need to pressure yourself to make a stall, which sounds very counterintuitive.
yeah,
But yeah, you can't just sit back and make it a stall. No, it just becomes they have 5 villages more and made 20 golems.
so yeah, I mean, it's funny looking at all the games in general. I've found that like even if people aren't necessarily more precise in like their positioning and calculations, which I mean some people are actually, but in general the tendency that's like really, oh, this is actually a tournament game, is that people are applying a lot more pressure and like, well,
So the
it
tactics
it
aren't necessarily
makes,
better, but the strategy is better.
yeah, it's about the mindset, they're
Speaking of
not
though,
they're not
in
here to
that
play, they're here
game,
to win.
in that first game against Cat, strategy is the one thing you didn't do so well at. For
uh
example, even
yeah,
after you got grooved, you kept like going in and attacking and played very aggro, and you got good
yeah,
trades, but you could have gotten way better trades by hanging back and stalling.
I think that's just something that's like, yeah, it's quite easy to tell in hindsight, but like when you're calculating the turn and
You
you're
see all
seeing
those good
moves,
trades, yeah.
yeah, you see the moves, you're like, oh, even if strategically like this isn't necessarily what I should be doing, it's still a good trade, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is a good trade. There is
So
this
yeah,
chess thing where, like, when you see a good move, find a better one. The chess meme. I mean, but yeah, Wargroove players not as good as chess players. Haha. I mean, also true, but haha, the popular game is somehow more competitive. Who would have thought? Anyway, I think we can move on to game two.
Yeah, I'm just noticing there was a very, very close lethal that's like showing on screen right now, and it's just like, oh, it's like such a shame we
There
didn't
was
make it.
lethal here, but like Saykoya was like, "Oh, I just need to use this unit order to do it," or like this. I just need to not attack
yeah,
with this unit from this tile, and then he attacks with that unit from that tile.
it's it happens to me quite a bit. It's like I'm going, oh, so this is gonna work, except if I do this one move that stops it, and then I just do it.
Yeah, your brain skips the negatives, right?
Oh, and here's the.
Yeah.
I do want to show this like one little bit on stream. So this is like the bit where I can go back few frames. So this dog attack here, I think, is like the kind of moment where the game didn't go Mr. Cat's way. Like if you just don't attack with this dog, you just win the game.
Yeah,
It's,
but
Pretty
also
much.
if Saykoya doesn't troll the lethal, he wins. But anyway, yeah, a lot of blunders.
yeah. And just to explain for people watching, like this dog
Yeah,
allows Sedge to kill it with groove, like walk away, kill the dog with groove, and then walk further away. I think there's actually like he goes cross map after that point. But
Yeah,
that
I did a
was
lot of cross map things. It might have been I might have been a victim of like seeing the plays and going, "Oh, that's such a fun play. I want to do that."
it's definitely a very stylish game. But yeah, I think we can kind of move on from there. But that was just like one moment I think that
yeah, and it was
uh,
very exciting to catch live too.
yeah.
Game two, the American Open season.
Oh yeah.
Snitchy was going crazy about that. Barrett liked it too.
I really like this because I said months ago that Emmerich with archers would be a thing, and nobody agreed with me. Everybody was like, "Nah, that won't be a thing." And then thank you, Saykoya, for like proving me right. Because I was completely right. Archers with Emmerich are really strong. Maybe just in specific circumstances, but
Yeah, I wouldn't say completely right. I mean, I did say that Emmerich would only be good with Treb and never good with archers. I was wrong about that, I guess. But I also haven't seen any other map in the pool where Emmerich archers are like good enough.
yet.
Open season has
You haven't
well,
seen any yet.
no, I checked after. Well, it wasn't perfect, but like after I saw American Open season could work, I checked. Maybe you can say I haven't found it, but I'm pretty sure he's not that good in the other maps, and I'm pretty sure he's still not as good as Neji was making them out to be an open season. Like I think there are way better options there, but he's still better than I expected before I saw this.
Yeah, and game two was also brilliant. Like I really enjoyed this one. It was very much game one was kind of a bit sloppy on both sides, like both people missing lethals, uh commander grooves kind of all over the place. Like I think Sedge did like a grand tour of the map a couple times.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
game
I mean,
two
Sedge
was
was grooving both sides of the map every time.
yeah, whereas this
That's
was
such a
very
fun
like
thing
one
with the
sided.
range.
I want to say like this was very like Emmerich had a clear game plan, and the defense on the stronghold was particularly notable as well. Like that was actually really good, like solid holds because I think we see a different game from round one where like the defense of the stronghold just wasn't there, and then I don't remember
And
which
then
set it was from,
someone
but
just kills the stronghold, yeah.
it was either that or like the pressure was so good strong that the army had to like pull itself out of position on the left side, which then opened up that left side to push. So
Like
one of those
I
two.
mean, there's that one thing like you have to. I don't think it's like super strong, but you still have to take steps to avoid it before it happens.
And like
And
it's funny, game one was like a fight. It was going back and forth all the time. They were like exchanging blows basically. Whereas game two felt completely different. It was like a seminar. Seikoya was showcasing what Emery can do on this map. A completely different feel, yeah.
Also,
And
the Zawan group was kind of wasted.
yeah, this was just a very bad summer move. Which is weird because Mr. Cat plays a lot of Zawan. You'd expect something better. I get proven wrong twice in this game, I guess. I've said before that it's basically impossible to waste Zawan tier 2. It always does something. Well, well, Mr. Cat proved me wrong. Like, yeah, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
it did nothing here.
And there's some funny things about this as well, so I'm gonna pause here. Something that was pointed out to me is this rifle reaches the barracks from that tile, which is
Yeah.
actually wild to think about. Like,
And
just
it's
because of the crystal
kind of
burst.
relevant, actually. I
Oh,
mean,
it really
usually
Yeah.
it's
is.
gonna
I
be
mean,
blocked.
not this game because like everything was in front, but yeah.
It's
Yeah,
I
there
probably
always
gonna be
was
blocked,
units in
but
front.
they're gonna have to block it.
I actually wonder if Mr. Cat even saw it, because like the spear was built on the left side to get into this balloon. If he
Yeah.
built a spear on the right side, like that could have potentially been shot by the rifle. And that's a river tile as well with crit. Like you're gonna one shot any infantry that comes out of that barracks.
Yeah, and that barracks does need to build mages occasionally. Like, air is a big thing on this map, I think. Like, Harpy is pretty good. Dragon, decent occasionally. Less good than it was before, probably.
But yeah.
Um,
There's just like a
but yeah,
couple of interactions I want to show. But like anything else to say about this
the funniest interaction was like Archer
yeah, archer
crits
crit on the
kills rifle
rifle. Yeah.
right here. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Nobody
also
expects that to happen.
yeah, and also how much the archers were chanting the golem from like a billion range. Yeah, but yeah, Saykoya just made the fort, sat there, and then eventually attacked HQ from there, and there wasn't much Mr. Cat could do.
Yeah.
Like you have to, you can't let Emmerich set up, basically. Not on this map, not on any map where he can make a trap position.
Mm.
Basically, Emmerich has like some setups that are winning, and you can't let him do that.
Yeah, and like this commander choice, like Zawon just can't do anything against this.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
Yeah.
mines
I
aren't gonna
mean,
touch
Zawon,
the
he has to
crystal.
do stuff beforehand. Yeah.
yeah, Zawon is aggressive. He needs to do stuff early. Zawon in general loses grind games. I mean, a bit less in Wargroove 2 because of tier 2 being like kind of okay in grind games. But still, like for example, in Wargroove 1, there was the funny Saykoya versus Aronix and In Memoriam. And Zawon in In Memoriam does the HQ RAS pretty well. And he can go with that and then make it very, very aggro and end the game quickly. Or immediately with the RAS itself. But if he doesn't do that, Emmerich just destroys him. And and Saykoya won that game after misclicking with Emmerich. You just get on some maps if they turn grindy, or if they just are grindy. Someone, even though he's known as an amazing Sion, can just feel super bad. And I don't feel Zawon is bad in open season. I feel he is bad if you let your opponent stall for free.
And I mean, like I'm just rewatching some of this. It's just ridiculous. Like archers critting from like the opposite side of the map. Uh, I love that Mr. Cat built a trebuchet as kind of a like, well, maybe this is how I deal with this. Because if you haven't seen this at all, like you're just gonna get completely caught off guard.
Yeah, that's why you should prepare before you play tournament. I guess.
True.
But yeah,
But I mean, I don't
people
think
didn't
anybody
expect
really
them.
saw like this coming. So
I mean, I did think Sequoia might pick America at some point. I didn't know she would show it so early. Especially because there aren't many. Well, there might be an argument for Emmerich Locus. I don't think it's that good. So I think this is his only map. So it's weird that he showed it so early. I thought he would have some Emmerich prep at some point, and I didn't think it'd be this good. I thought it'd be like Copium by Sequoia because Emmerich is not good now. But this was actually pretty good.
well, we're gonna move on to the next set. That was a really fun set though. Like the two games very different in terms of like results, where like the first one was like very scrappy and like it could have gone either way. And then game two was just completely dominating.
The second was what we'd expect to see from like Sid 1 versus Sid 16. But the first one was not. as you'd expect. The opposite, very much the opposite. Um, so moving on,
Moving on.
me versus this one.
Yeah.
So we
So
only got one game of this
yeah, I don't know how much we
because
want to go into like the personal circumstances of why this happened.
we'll just say that there were scheduling issues and
Yeah.
uh, this could not uh, finish the set. Yeah, we couldn't schedule anymore. So since I had one game, which we can talk about the game I won a little bit.
Yeah.
Since I was up 1-0 and most of the scheduling issues were on his side, uh, he said, I can take the W. And yeah, sadly we couldn't finish the set. We might finish the set like just in between us for fun. You
Yeah.
guys won't see it, lol. But yeah, I got the official W due to scheduling issues. The one game that got played, I mean, we went an open season and I thought I kind of underestimated him. And I thought, oh, Wolfer has a pretty decent rush on open season. People haven't been playing Wolfer much, except the people who always play Wolfer because they can't play other shows. And even those haven't been like going heavy on their ass. So I thought I'd just kill him with a Wolfer ass. But this didn't happen, surprisingly. He was able to defend their ass. And I spent a lot of time calcing their ass and also calcing that I don't get counter rushed because he was Greenfinger, who doesn't rush as well as Wolfer
Yeah,
but can rush.
kind of spent 15 minutes like looking at a screen.
Yeah.
Oh, it's such a Mastro like game because it's like, oh, Mastro just stopped moving.
Yeah, everybody's like, "Are
Well,
you okay? Are you
that's
dead?
and
What's
then it's
happening?"
like, did the internet drop? Well, we know it's Mastro, so we're like, yeah, just give it 10 more minutes before we start asking if the
Yeah,
internet is down. And then 10 minutes later, we're like, he still didn't move.
yeah. Well, the replay doesn't show it now. I guess you see the move happening immediately. You just see a big timer drop.
What turn was that?
Pretty early. Like the moment
Yeah,
we
like
both approach
7 or 8,
HP. Yeah,
maybe 9.
and then like I legit didn't think there was any chance of the game going to time. Like, although it is a stolen map, since I picked Wolfar, I was going to make sure that it at some point it becomes like fight, some kind of fight, and then it probably ends pretty quickly. But yeah, he was able to defend my attack, and then he gave me some free dudes. Also, I think he moved some stuff away to defend my attack, and then that gave me some econ. So I got econ and dudes. Like basically my game plan failed, but then I got like free leads and everything. It's cool when that happens, right?
I remember being a pretty close game overall.
It was close at the beginning, and then he gave me free stuff, and then it stopped being close.
Alright, I
I
see the
mean,
timer drop to like 35 minutes now.
yeah. And then I didn't attack this turn because I didn't have a 2-turn lethal, or at least I didn't see a 2-turn lethal. Yeah. And then the next turn, I see that my Harpy is gonna be immortal. That's why I go in. I can kill his Harpy and make my Harpy immortal. It's not in range of his maids. So I'm like, there might be something here. But there wasn't anything. It was still not too bad, and I felt like I had to do something at least. Even if it was a mediocre trade, and I didn't end up getting anything, I at least forced him to pop groove and get some trades so I can make it a more scrappy game state. And Wolfer likes those more. Probably could have done this and also gotten more material or lost less material. But yeah, I wasn't very accurate. So now I think that he just doesn't have enough on the right, and I decide to take Econ while retreating from the left where he put all his army. And I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna dance a little bit, and here he gives me all his army. He hits 2 knights, and the game's now off because I take freak on one side and I kill everything on the other side. Here's he calcs the lethal too, losing his time advantage. The one thing he had, like Wolfer looks a bit in danger, but he survives with like 2 or 3 HP. I think that was my calc. Other people were saying I survived with like 4 or 5. Whatever. The point is there is no lethal apparently, and yeah, that was the game. I mean, Diso played better than I thought he would. Yeah,
Yeah, it really does seem like, and I don't want to harp on like anybody too much. I think Disso's biggest issue I've seen so far is scheduling. Like, he's
yeah,
a really solid player. It's just come down to whether it's his opponent is on a different time zone, which I think has happened a few times, um, or like other issues. But it's really, I think if he had more availability to play, uh, especially given that like sometimes like he often gets matched up against like people in Europe, and I think he's in America, so
yeah.
um, yeah. But I think if
And
if he was a bit more flexible with the schedule, like he could be a complete monster and
and it
do
doesn't
super
only
well.
hurt like the tournament results, it also hurts his practice. I know he has missed quite a bit of practice because of availability,
Yeah.
right?
So
So yeah, it's certainly super important.
yep. So I think, championships next year, like we could see Disso really like do a lot better just because gonna be more available hopefully. So yeah.
Yeah, he's also really young, so he can grow the most out of anybody. That said, like the game will probably die before he reaches his peak.
I don't think that. I think there's a couple years left in Wargroove yet,
Hmm,
but we'll see.
Is it like 9 years? People peak at like 25, I think.
Well, let's not
Yeah.
dox Disso's age. So but anyway, yeah, I enjoyed the game we got to see. Obviously, um, you took the victory, and yeah,
Oh,
I
you
mean it's
can
kind of
see it since it got to that point. Yeah, this is the turn, right? Yeah, he just
oh yeah.
drops 3 lethal.
I was a bit curious about this lethal. I mean, obviously the night crit follow up happens. I don't know if there's like a more optimal way to get damage, but that was probably the
Oh, there
simplest.
was. Yeah, I just killed my golem because it's funny to groove golems in the mountain. But you
Fair.
can just dragon, and then dragon will do damage because it doesn't die on the mountain.
Right.
So it would be 10 more damage, or pike would also be 10 more damage. And also, but like there was already overkill by more than 10 because sword could also go on the mountain to finish.
Yeah.
It was like he just blanked. Sometimes this happens when you're behind in a close game, in a game that used to be close, and then now you're behind and you're trying to time somebody out, and you miss something.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, that was that set. And
yeah, sadly we couldn't conclude it. I mean, I was a bit scared when I thought we would play the following games because I was like, okay, I've underestimated the guy. Maybe he wins one now. I did think he'd win one of them. So.
Okay, well, next we have Sparky versus Sedgen, and Sedgen just popped up in chat. So Sedge, feel free to let me know when you and Zested are able to sort your games for the loot, because I know there's
Yeah.
some stuff with Game 3, but we won't go into that this week. We'll talk about that next week. But just while
Oh,
I
and
see
this is
Sedgen
the
in chat.
first pick I got wrong. I picked Saykoya and myself to win, obviously, but I picked Sedson to win this set, and he did not win this set.
And you were the only one to pick Sedjan, actually.
Yeah, I thought more people would pick him. Like I thought Sedson. Yeah, I said this when I made the pick, but like I thought, even though he's kind of washed right now because he's always on vacation, uh, I thought he has the big experience advantage. So, and he can make games drag on, and when they do drag on, uh, the experience advantage will shine through. That's what I thought. I mean, I knew Sparty was good. I wasn't underestimating Sparty, but I was overestimating Sedson, I guess. Also, when I made the prediction, I did not know that Setsuhan doesn't ban pistol. And well, now she bans pistol. Let's just say that.
Yeah, that's
Oh yeah, there was definitely a decision made at the beginning of the set where pistol was. It's not that I think like Wolfer's a bad pick or anything. It's just like on Gilgamesh, pistol's better.
Yeah.
Just flat out better.
yeah. I mean, on a few more maps, I'd say.
True, but like Gilgamesh, I think is especially just because of how close
Yeah.
quarters it is.
I mean, on other maps, you could make an argument for Wolfer against pistol, right? You wouldn't necessarily be right, but you could make an argument and you wouldn't be laughed at.
Yeah, I
Not
mean,
by me.
I think it's more just like the amount of difference there is just on Gilgamesh.
And Gilgamesh is not close. There is no argument for Wolfer. It doesn't have any big attacks. Dragon Rush is not as important as it used to be in Wargroove 1. Pretty easy to stall. Even if you do get an econ advantage, it can't be big enough to where it ends the game. Pistol just outgrinds you. And sometimes also just outfights you even kinda early. It's really, really hard pistol in Gilgamesh. Just ban her. Which is
And,
probably what Setson will do after this game.
and I think I can just skip ahead to yeah. Here we go. Here's the groove. Just did so much damage. Oh my god! Like watching that back is terrifying. Yeah, game is kind of over at this point. Like, there's no counter lethal on pistol. She actually damages stuff enough that like it can't effectively be suicided onto her because it's just so weak.
Yeah, that was the funny part with like, oh, pistol becomes weak to lethals because she makes so many suicides. Well, you also need some full health units to make the lethal work. If it's just suicides, you don't have enough for a lethal.
Yeah, and like suiciding like 7 1 health units isn't actually gonna do much damage.
Yeah, and then like Wolfer himself could have died that turn, but Sparty was like, just kill all the army.
Yeah,
Then look for a lethal.
but yeah, I mean, it was a fun game one. Obviously, we got to see the strengths of pistol, and why you don't let her be available. And then game two was, oh no, this isn't the right set. Sorry, I just didn't play Sedgen in this game. Okay, game two. We got to see Koji versus Lytra, which is a very interesting matchup. Not something you get to see very often. Sedge is actually bugging me if they can join the call. You want to let Sedgen come on?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, let's get Sedgen in here. Actually,
Yeah, you
can
can
someone
talk
else
about
add
the set.
Sedgen? Because I have to mess
Oh,
with
yeah.
the stream overlay if I want to do that.
Right. Do I have sets unfriended? You need to have them as a friend.
Saykoya, do you have Sedgen?
Oh, I think I have. I think I did.
Should have him, yeah.
I think I did it.
Oh, there we go. Yo, welcome in, Sedgen.
There he is.
Hello.
Hello.
Ah,
Oh, there
Hey.
we go.
okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
All right, nice, because I'm not on my microphone. Whew, okay. So the game won. It came down to having completely forgotten how to open on Gilgamesh plus pistol. That's it.
Yeah,
I-
yeah. We thought you'd do fine on Gilgamesh opening because it's a map you've played a lot.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, but nah, I was too rusty and I forgot a few key things which Sparky did not, because they definitely prepared and it showed, and they just did that better. Plus, the commander was better, I think. And yeah, complete destruction on that turn.
Why weren't you banning pistol?
I
Had you just forgotten about her, or were you underestimating her?
no. I'm just not caught up on the tier list of the current commanders. Like I knew that pistol was strong. But I was like, it's yeah, strong, but not overpowering. Like
It can't
Ryota
be
was
that bad, right?
I did not think she was Ryota level in Wargroove 1, where he just OPS her. But that's almost as where she's right now. So next
I
time I'm
wouldn't
just
say
gonna.
she's Wargroove Unreal. I wouldn't
Maybe,
go that.
maybe not that. Yeah, maybe not that.
Yeah.
But close enough. So
But yeah. Still
Yeah.
probably better to ban her, right?
Definitely, yeah. Plus, I was just rusty overall. Like, I just came back from like a vacation after like 15 days. Like, it's just complete different mindset. Not in the game. I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was really fun.
And game 2 you go light.
Yeah, Lytra. Lytra is just someone I'm comfortable playing. Not bad, not good. Like, I would say it's good. She's good, but like not like top tier.
Yeah.
I can do like some small optimizations, and it's difficult to like prepare for all the things you can potentially do. So I can get some advantage that way. If I were to play the opening correctly, which I did not, so there's a huge disadvantage there as well, just like on Gigabash.
It was surprising not to see you play Seds though, because Seds is pretty good on Locus, I'd say, or at least
Oh yeah,
okay. Yeah, and I think he wasn't banned. So tell us about that. Are you gonna show some Seds later on in the tourney? Because
well,
Seds,
that's
right? It's in the
that's
name.
Who else?
yeah, of course. It does come down to the fact that I did not know the maps and what commanders were good on the maps. Looking back at it, it's obvious that like a large map like that, which stars out, such as good. I did not think of that. I was just like, okay, let's pick a good commander who I can actually use before the game ends. Because Sagittarius tier 2, it takes a while, and Sparky would just like outplay me. Like I knew he had better preparation, and I did not think I could reach the point with Sage that I could capitalize on my experience with Sage.
Ah,
So
yeah,
that's the
yeah.
yeah.
That's
So that's
fair.
the reason why I just played Lytra.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Even if the map is good for Seds, you still need to survive the beginning.
yeah, exactly. And I'm just not in that level of honor rustiness, like not up to date. But once I'm back from this current vacation, we're on the highway right now. I'll be completely back to the level where I can play comfortably. So at least I'll do well in the losers bracket.
Nice,
So
nice. So we
yeah,
might
so
see some classic Seds play back
yeah,
in the
that's the
game.
plan. Yeah, that's the plan. I'm gonna try to do that because there's no more stuff I need to do before September, so should be all good. So yeah,
Yeah.
just want to add that.
But now you're fighting for your tournament life, so if you lose one, you
Oh yeah,
might,
exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, and the
yeah,
rounds are
Oh,
weekly
yeah.
now, so next Wednesday is the deadline for.
yeah, yeah. So because of that, we played with Zested all of the matches, and it's actually finished.
Oh, so it
Uh,
is all done now.
yeah. Game 4 didn't happen because we thought it just like it would not be fair towards anyone. Like I won fair and square. I could have done a game 4, but like why risk it at this point, So like nah, it's fine.
Okay.
Just 3 matches.
Yeah, so you can
Yeah, yeah,
clarify
yeah.
whether which one was a discussion of game 4 for people who don't know.
Yeah, there was discussion of game 4 because in game 3, um, even though I offered to Zested that they can reschedule for the next 2 days, they said that that night was fine. I said, okay, you sure? He's like, yeah, sure, it's fine. And then he just surrendered after like 5 turns, and he's like, he's distracted because his family is like over. I was like, and I just felt so bad for him, like that's not a way to go. But
Yeah,
like, it wasn't like worth risking another match just because that happened, right? It was like I try my best to prevent that, but he chose not to take the offer.
Okay.
and you're also on vacation, so it's a question of whether you could even make it back.
Yeah, that too. So like, just just keep it that way. Unfortunate, next time hopefully goes better.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Okay.
Okay.
I
I
should be
mean,
back
and
for my next match though.
I guess like like him being distracted is like a big disadvantage. But you also hadn't been playing as much for like 2 weeks because
Oh
you've been
yeah, for
away.
sure.
So
Like
like,
Yeah, so all people
yeah,
have like real life happen.
yeah.
that's a fair point. Yeah,
Like
fair
this.
point. Exactly.
And actually next year, like all of the schedule, like I want to get it all done because like I'm going to be taking a step away from tournament admin after like this for like the most part, right?
Right.
But like I
Yeah.
want to make sure the people taking over are left with like there's a clear schedule set out for next year, all in advance. All the players know what it is too, and like nothing like
That's
everybody
actually
can
cool.
like prepare and things as well. So like if people are looking to take vacation but also want to play in the tournament, then they can absolutely do that.
Yeah, it can be planned out.
Yeah. So And anyway, there we
Yeah,
see
that's
the end of
awesome.
the game. Lytra getting lethaled by Koji bombs, unsurprisingly, and then Golem. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sparty got a really big early advantage, and then Koji was also, I believe, a little bit better of a shot in light ram, and he was able to close.
Oh,
Sedge did play
maybe.
quite well close to the end of the game. He was kind of catching back up, maybe.
Yeah,
But
like you saw like Sparky get an advantage early, and then little by and then so you were like, oh, Sparky's gonna win like pretty comfortably, and then the game kept going on, and then little by little you were less and less sure about whether Sparky was gonna win, and you were like, he's actually gonna win, right? Sunhyun is coming back, maybe.
yeah,
Huh?
that's
Yeah,
why I
And
thought
then
would
I did
and
my
happen.
best.
then
I did my best
and then
to
the lethal
appeal.
happened. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Like I knew
think
it was losing, but like don't give up. Just give the commentators a show, right? That was my goal. Like not to win, just like make a good fight, right? Because I knew I was way too rusty to actually win that match. Plus, I actually found out with Skyro with this on testing. I think player one has an advantage on that map.
so. We were talking about
A
this
stat
earlier.
advantage.
There is actually going to be a change to Locus.
Yeah, because there's a
which will
P1 advantage.
Yeah, and like that is actually going to get adjusted. I did notice while watching this back that oh yeah, I see where like the timing thing on the Merfolk and the Kraken comes in. So it does look like that actually impacted this game. Is unfortunate, although I think Sparky just had the better opening in general.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
even aside from that, you weren't like very rigorous with your opening, let's say.
Even if I were to like open perfectly, then it could be like close enough, right? But like even that I messed up, so it was like a huge difference. Like better opening plus advantage by map plus my bad opening, just like the perfect storm for me to lose, right? Plus my
Yeah.
rust, so it's like 4 things which were against me.
But yeah, what
And yeah,
happened close to the end of the game though was why I picked Sedson like initially when we were making predictions. Like because I knew Sparty would get advantages early, but I thought Sedson would eventually like grind and make comebacks. But he wasn't able to do it in the end. But yeah, I wasn't completely wrong. The result was wrong, but my analysis wasn't uh you know
yeah,
had
like
some
the fight
merit.
happened.
Yeah.
Well, like the fight happened like on the right, but like then you just pulled back, and I just didn't realize that Koji
Yeah.
Bomb can't kill me. If
It
that didn't
is
happen, it might have been a good match.
Yeah, it is true that Sedson can make like very nice comebacks and make the games like turn the games into like slow grind fest. He's better than you and slowly outplays you, but it just wasn't enough this time. It might be
Yeah,
enough next time though. We'll see. We'll see. Sedson is still in the tournament, but
I'm gonna
yeah,
be actually training. Yeah, like all times, like Grove War 4 or 5. I look back some videos. Like it was so nice to see myself fight. Like compared to that, I went down so much. I went up in level, but I also went down because back then I was like totally focused. Like each match, like for like weeks, just prepare, have like matches each day. It was so fun those days, and I try to bring back that level of excitement in my preparation.
but yeah, can't wait to see it. But now moving on to the next match,
Yeah, we go.
All right.
Skyro
Oh,
versus
oh,
KHP.
we're gonna say goodbye to Setchan. I imagine you're gonna be back on the road in a moment.
Yeah, we have to go like in 2 minutes. So I'm gonna be done the
Okay.
phone.
Well,
Thank you
See ya.
guys.
yes, thanks for joining, and
Yes,
have a good rest of your vacation.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the podcast. Good luck. Bye bye.
See ya.
So yeah.
Okay, that was some timely insight, and also good to know that the result for the lower bracket has already happened. I can fill it in after. Spoiler alert, by the way, but I guess like this is kind of the section.
Yeah, they played early because Edson had to leave immediately for vacation again. Vacation hunt. Right, yeah.
But I mean, props to Zested for being like, yeah, like I'm gonna accept the result as is. Yeah. So okay, I think was it Zested and Sneaky Dragon we did last
We've
week.
seen that. Yeah, we've seen. We go to Skyrocket Spin.
Yeah, Scar KHP, which was
Yeah.
oh, this was such a
Which
good
was
set.
way closer than anticipated, actually.
Yeah, everybody picked Skyro here, but the actual set, I mean, it's you wonder if he even played better. You might even say KHB played better and Skyro got lucky. That said, Skyro was hit by the vacation, but by the vacation curse too, much like said Sun. So we saw a way worse Skyro than we expected.
Yeah, it was definitely. I mean, I'm just trying to remember the details of the set. Because game one, I seem to recall Skyro did really well, but I'm gonna have to like skip ahead a little bit here and just like
Yeah. There's no reason to show the openings. Just show the act,
yeah.
right?
But oh yeah, there was just like a ton of golem spam in this game, right? I seem to remember like there
Oh,
being lots of
game
golems.
one was like the main part of game one was like KHP just didn't know the opening on Locus, but it still was a lot closer than it should have been because doing the right opening, Skyro kicks KHP from the corner immediately, but he doesn't bring a knight to decap, so he's actually super slow on the decaps. KHB finally kicks him out a lot later with just knights, no kraken, so he takes
Oh,
a
and then
lot
it was this
longer.
attack.
Yeah.
Now I remember. So this is probably like the worst tier 2 groove I've ever seen from a Twins player.
Yeah. This reminds me of the Mr. Cat Zawan group we saw last time. Not last time, like 2 sets ago. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, this groove inside the enemy's army, the enemy kills it immediately and it does nothing.
Yeah, but he didn't even do it inside the enemy's army. He caught like 2 units with it.
Yeah, but, I mean in their range, right?
Yeah.
And yeah,
But yeah, it's within range, so it's not even in the middle of the enemy's army. It's just like clipping the edge of it, gets killed immediately. The army takes a ton of like return fire for it, and Skyro gets a really nice tier 2 groove off of it. Like this is an excellent like Zowan
yeah.
groove, really.
There was a very big attack, yeah. And this saved Skyro basically because even though he played the opening better, what playing the opening better should get you is that you get the money faster. But because he didn't send a knight to actually cash in and flip the villages, um, he was actually behind the money just because of that one thing he didn't do correctly. Even though he did everything else in the opening better, he was actually down money, equal or down money for a big part of it. So he needed KHB to blunder like that. You know, that was pretty. And then it was still a pretty close. Eventually, Skyro attacked HQ and he missed the lethal. Like, he moved his units in a very suboptimal way and dropped a lot of his advantage instead of immediately winning the game.
But yeah, I mean, like I can skip ahead quite a bit, and then it
Yeah,
gets
there was a
very
trap on
scrappy.
the
There was
dragon.
lots of trades going on. Like yeah, I've skipped quite far ahead, and like there's, I think it really came down to time at the end for the most part, from what I recall.
Yeah, both attacks failed basically. Well, KHB's attack was no good, so it couldn't do anything but fail. But Skyro had a good attack at some point and missed the best continuation, which would have won him. So it became a grind, but it shouldn't have been a grind.
Yeah, I mean, this is really just like both of them making mistakes and the game dragging on. Yeah, KHB is just like a little bit behind on timer, and basically is the end of the game. Uh, so yeah, very scrappy, but I mean, I guess like Skyro is obviously just a bit rusty right now, and KHB just made it one blunder on the offense, and it really like stunted them for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, KHB didn't get punished for it, but he also didn't play the opening correctly. Skyro again, getting one night just completely messed up his whole opening advantage.
And
Knights
then,
are good.
and then we see game two, which was honestly pretty underwhelming.
Game 2 was one of the most surprising games of the tournament, though.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, nothing particularly interesting happened. It was like a
Yeah,
sedge mirror, and neither of them got
it
to do any
wasn't
sedge things.
interesting, but it was super surprising. Skyro got massively opening diffed on his own map.
yeah, it was kind of a stomp, I guess.
Yeah, so Skyro opens wrong, gets massively opening diff, and is just massively down money, and then loses some material and resigns. Very crazy game. Like, it's weird. It feels like nothing happened, but the result was the most unexpected thing we've seen. Like, we thought it'd be a 2-0. We see them playing, like, because KHB is a very aggressive player. And we see them playing on this map, which isn't the most aggressive map. It's pretty dynamic, but you can stall. And they both play Sedge, stall Sion. So you'd expect this to be an easy win for Skyro. It's also his own map. But Mapmaker's Curse strikes again. And Skyro, you can see he has like no control over the map. He loses material, loses a free knight, then loses another free knight a few turns later, and just resigns the game.
I'll skip ahead quite a bit. And then
Yeah, this
there's
is the
just the
first free knight.
yeah. Oh here.
The first free knight you saw, and Skyro can't get it back because KHB is there with all his army. And then here's the second free knight. Dragon gets hit for hitting that knight, but all of Skyro's army would die in the counterattack. He does find the hit on the dragon, which is pretty cool. The tactics puzzle. How do you get your mage to hit the dragon? You need this specific series of moves. Okay, good. You hit the dragon. Now all those units die. And seeing that, Skyro.
Yeah, like you look
This
at
is the
here.
final.
This is the final move there, like the mage hitting the dragon. Yeah, there's just so much army here to counter attack. And like Sedge can't groove. I think if Sedge could groove the dragon here, like if he was like one tile up, it could like run down and
Yeah,
you know,
the game would then be playable.
yeah. But in this position, like it's just over. So
Yeah, he can no longer follow up with like pretty much anything, and then his mages both die. There is a harpy there, right?
yeah, the
I thought there
harpy's
was
in
a harpy.
range.
Oh,
So
it's gonna. Yeah, there's a harpy,
yep.
and then the harpy is gonna destroy everything. The new units coming.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because both
Cage,
anti-air go down and yeah.
yeah, and then KHB is already up a lot of money and some material, so it's just a wrap here. So he resigned,
Yep.
and then game 3.
Game 3, which was Lytra versus Caesar. Uh, very bold to let Caesar go through.
Oh, but it wasn't just Caesar. It was also Vesper.
Yeah,
Second.
actually, Vesper wasn't banned here, so we saw Vesper not get banned and not get picked.
Yeah, for the first time in history.
But I mean,
It's
I
gonna
don't
start.
necessarily hate picking Caesar over Vesper on Gilgamesh, especially
Well,
because like it might just be a comfort pick at that point as well.
so
I
we
mean,
talked to Skyro, and Skyro just didn't see Vesper was open.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
it's like you just assume she's not open
Yeah,
and this
because who would leave
happens.
Vesper open, right? That said, I think Caesar is like theoretically better than Vesper on this map.
Right,
Theoretically. But
right,
when
of
humans
course,
are
of course.
playing, I
I
always
mean,
pick Vesper.
it's like I was saying earlier, like pressure is so important, much more important in tournaments. And the thing with these like late game commanders is that their grooves don't like provide you extra pressure. Vesper is basically a late game commander that activates at 200, so pressure comes in pretty early
Yeah, that's a good way of putting
comparatively.
it.
And the other thing with Vesper here is that Vesper hard counters Lytra.
Yeah, because that
Gates be picked first.
the devs have said they're interested in making Lytra work in Vesper
But it's still
Cloud.
not there.
It's
Yeah.
still
So
not there. That's
Vesper would
probably a
just
next patch thing.
completely smash Lytra.
Yeah, I do want to give a quick props to KHB for that very early attack. I know you were, I think Mastro, I think we were on commentary together for this, and you were saying like this sword play on the right hand side, you're not a huge fan of it.
Oh yeah, JHP did the very wrong opening Saykoya also did that versus Mr. Cat, but Saykoya was trolling and underestimating Mr. Cat.
It's fake propaganda.
Yeah, and then JMP fell for the propaganda, but the opening is only bad if you refute it properly. Skyro played into it instead of refuting it and made it good. So things aren't bad or good regardless of what your opponent does. It's a two-player game. Something is bad because your opponent can make it bad. But if they don't make it bad, it could be even better than the normally optimal. Like you're assuming they do the correct counter, and then sometimes they don't, and then you're like, no, I should have made the bad move.
It's like I think I sent you that video of like Daigo doing like the 7 dragon punches in a
Yeah,
row,
yeah.
and it's just like that's a terrible option, but it worked every time, so he did it. And it's just like, yeah, it's that thing. Like if your opponent lets you do something that isn't like a good idea, then like it doesn't make it a bad idea in that circumstance.
That said, in fighting game, there's the question of mechanics too. Here, like if you know why it's bad and what you can do, you will always do it. Basically, so it's like
Yeah.
it's much harder to get away with bad moves in Wargroove. But hey, she got away with it, so
Yeah, I mean your opponent still has to know how to like
yeah,
punish it. I guess is the main thing, and in this case,
yeah, it's a
Skyro
knowledge
just
question.
yeah, Skyro just like didn't do the knowledge check or didn't meet the knowledge check, and I guess
And
he
you
will
can
next
skip
time.
forward to the
But
main fight.
I'll be really interested to see if anybody else tries to do this opening again, because now everybody knows it and like knows how to
Well,
play
now
against it.
we've said it's a trap, so they're
Yeah.
not gonna do it anymore. All my hard work spreading like fake openings isn't gonna work.
But
No.
in this
No
case, it worked
payoff.
out really well. Like this was actually like a fantastic advantage that KHP gained on that side because of it.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't call it fantastic. He didn't capitalize on it because he went back instead of capping that village and healing there. Like he could have capitalized more.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
true. And this attack with the three actually just the surround on that one night. Oh,
And
but
I think you can skip to the main fight.
yeah, let me skip ahead a bit. When was the main fight really?
I
Because it
think
really
that's
came down to Skyro. I think had a really good turn with Caesar, if I recall correctly. Oh no! Wait, no. Now I remember
the
what happened.
opposite.
Sorry.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
here Lighter attacked and it was a pretty decent attack, but your golem and your knight can like
Oh, I
get
remember this turn. It's like there were a
fight.
few tiles that looked so juicy for Lytra to groove, where you
Yeah,
hit the
here.
entire army and stuff.
But
But
you
that's in
couldn't.
night crit range.
Yeah,
So
you see the knight
you
being built now. Yeah.
so you have to like not go for it.
Yeah, there
And
was
as
an
a player,
upgrade.
you're like so you wanna go for it, but you can't. And
That
then
said,
so
there's also a scissor trap.
yeah,
Yeah. So
there's
Lytra
like
didn't have to go for it. She should have run back completely, and then Caesar dies. She saw that she couldn't go for the big groove, and she did run back, but not enough.
I mean, she
And
actually
then,
technically didn't even run back. She's like actually further forwards
I
in this
mean, yeah, but
position. Like in like a very
yeah,
technical sense, she was. Yeah.
yeah. Wait, diagonally she was. Wait, what was she before?
She was
Wait,
up there, so she's actually technically like she went.
diagonally one behind, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
But I mean,
yeah.
she's moving
She's less
towards like the
exposed
left
there
side of the
than she
map.
was.
But anyway, actually, one quick highlight before we go into this turn. So, is the air trooper healed off the village? I think that was the case.
And the sword healed.
Oh, sword healed
The
off the
trooper was.
village, which
Yeah.
didn't heal it enough to prevent it from getting sword crit, but did weaken the village enough. So technically, this meant Caesar could run up.
But he still dies probably.
I think he still dies, but yeah, there was
And if
enough
he
lethals
doesn't,
on
this
this.
round could have been done better.
Yeah.
Stone hit there. But yeah, Caesar was dead. So his only hope was to kill KHP that turn. Luckily, he did.
Yeah.
It was very funny. And I
yeah
remember we were watching the game live and we were looking, we were tunnel visioning like how dead
on the
Caesar
other
was.
side of the map. Yeah.
And then suddenly Lighter's dead.
We're like, wait, what just happened?
Yeah, because yeah, like Caesar's very dead. There's a harpy, there's an air trooper, there's a mage. Like, I don't know if that together. Actually, no, I think that does kill. Harpy crit, air trooper hit, mage hit. I think that's enough
Barely.
damage
Yeah,
to kill.
it was
Actually,
pretty dead.
And even if not, that's like still an extra. Oh no, actually no, the surrender get broken technically, but
yeah.
yeah, like Skyro's completely dead at that point. So yeah, all the KHB had to do was just walk back their commander like properly, not to this tile to heal.
Yeah, all they had to
Walk
do was
back
not die.
and not to this time. Yeah.
So
But you know, we have a term for that in this community. And this is the first time key over the tournament.
Yeah, interesting.
so
And yeah, Skyro, we thought he'd dominate KHP and win 2-0, but he barely won because KHP time kid.
I think what's the phrase like snatching?
Snatching defeat from the jaws of
Oh
victory, yeah.
yeah, I love
It's just a
I love
meme
that
on
that's
the
like the inverse one. Like I love that
yeah.
so much. It's so good. But yeah, Skyro takes it barely. That could have gone either way, really.
Yeah. And Skyro saying he also could have just walked back and not gotten trapped because, his attack was actually good because Lytra couldn't actually make the big groove. So, had he never gotten trapped, walked back the turn he got trapped, he would have also won just by KHP overextending his army.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
that's
I
a
guess
fair
like
point.
the other thing there as well is like how much of like KHB's decision making was based on Caesar making the misplay and going further forward there.
His army was lost, I think, for Caesar.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah. He loses army and then Caesar falls into the trap. So Caesar had one turn, like the turn he killed the army was the turn he should have retreated Caesar. Yeah. So he had like that sweet spot where he could like not fall into the trap and also be win.
uh,
Didn't take it, but still won the set, so whatever.
well, Scarrow goes through, KHB goes into lower bracket, and I mean, I think most of us predicted Scarrow would win, but like I did not think it was going to come down to this. Like I thought it would be Scarrow plays like super solid, and then like KHB runs into a brick wall.
Yeah, that's what we all thought. And
Yeah, and I mean, we're expecting Skyro to like train back up to the level we were uh
Expecting,
imagining,
yeah,
yeah,
expecting, yeah, I guess.
I was thinking that Skyro was like the second favorite to win the tournament after Saykoya, and I was putting him above myself. Well, not anymore. I don't
But
think
yeah,
Saykoya
we'll
is the
see
second
how.
strongest player in the tournament anymore.
Okay, well, there's one more set in the winners side, and then we just do predictions actually. So
Yep.
pretty good podcast. I mean, we talked a lot about the sets pretty in depth as well, so I'm happy about that. But,
I mean, don't talk like it's over. The predictions could take quite a bit of time.
oh, I mean that's true. But well, actually, we
Well,
already know
I
how
mean,
one of the
there's
lower
less
bracket.
speculation since we saw like.
Well, two of the sets in the lower bracket are already over too. So,
I guess that's fair. Yeah.
okay. So let me see. Where's game one?
Spodius versus Sigma. So I thought Sigma would take a game because I hadn't seen much of Sigma, but I know Spodius isn't the most consistent player, right? And he does weird stuff in the opening sometimes. And I also know that Sigma has defeated Warble in a set. So I know that Warble didn't play his best that set, but still, right? Sigma could take a game. That's what I thought.
I seem to recall this being very one-sided.
Yes, this isn't what
Yeah,
happened.
it was
Podius
quite
dominated both
one-sided.
games very easily. It looked like, and Sigma a bit of a Batsio lover. Another one plays Lytra. Lytra isn't bad, but she's just not good enough for the tournament.
Yeah, although he did do really well with Lytra in the opens, but I guess that could have just been like matchup and experience from people, or
And also, yes, people just don't play that seriously in the opens. Which maybe should Saints. Yeah, and it's different in the real.
yeah. I mean, I'm guessing next time around people are going to be like, oh, actually, I should take the opens a bit more seriously. Because yeah, they do impact seeding, which we'll get to when we talk to you two about your first set in the next round of winners. But yeah, I mean, like Sigma, I seem to recall just kind of got deflected. I mean, actually, looking at this opening, it wasn't like terrible or anything.
Oh yeah, opening was pretty fine because Spotty is not known for his good openings. Known for being pretty creative with the openings with like mixed results. Let's just put it that way. But when the real fight starts in a few turns, he just dominates. Yeah, I mean he's also the better CO, so part of it.
I actually also remember like this particular moment where Lytra has
He
the
gives a hard.
opportunity to groove the Harpy, yeah,
Yeah.
and just doesn't go for it, and it's like, it actually would have been really good, just because like it's a good opportunity to burn groove. I mean, okay, you're 159.
If you're beating Lytra, you have to play this groove.
Yeah, like you can't hold for tier 2 on Lytra for too long because you need to get some advantage, because the opportunities to get tier 2 are very limited as well.
Yeah, it's hard. It's very hard to be in a position where you make that much value out of your tier 2 with Lytra. Like your opponent can gift it, but if your opponent is like trying not to gift it, especially against Greenfinger, I mean,
Yeah,
so you have to take what you can get.
I
Like you
think
always take
maybe
the high.
Zigma's plan was, I'm gonna save for tier 2, get to my opponent's stronghold, which you can do with Commander on this map. It is like relatively easy to stand in front of your opponent's stronghold. How safe that
Yeah,
is the other question, but
but as we saw in the Me versus Disobeyed game, Greenfinger is probably the best at defending those.
yeah.
Granted, Greenfinger doesn't want to play defensive groove, but if you commit first, and then he can get a lot of material by making the defensive groove, then you make it good for him.
I
So,
think Lytra, if she can stand on like this tile I'm looking at right now, which is like to the right of the village that's below the stronghold, like it's just below the forest, like where the pike is. If she can stand there in tier 2, you can like follow up and kill the stronghold relatively easily. I guess like the really
technically, yeah.
optimal one is the one like above the village in the center, because you can
Like,
always double night crit if you have, or you can always
oh
one
no,
night crit.
there is a cut
There's a
forest.
cut forest actually. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, the cut forest is stopping the double knight. That's why it's there.
But she's very good at removing the blockers in front of the stronghold. I guess I'll put it that way.
Yeah, but like,
And you can also double night crit from one tile.
That's
yeah.
also true. If she could open up a hole, she can.
But
Oh,
she
actually,
needs
that's
to open
really
up the whole
tricky.
without-
She only needs a tier 1 to do it as well, because like if she can just break the unit that's in front, which I guess you'd probably want to do, like have the rifle on the left hand side, like your rifle, like not have it defending but being offensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't know, there was a bunch of plays that were possible here, and I just think that you want to groove the Harpy just to get rid of it. I think tier 1's probably more useful even in the late game, just because like you just want to move like one tile really. And it's much more useful to just gain advantage over and over. Like the mage is so
It's
far
much
back.
better on army fights, but you're not gonna win those against Greenfinger probably.
Probably not. And also like the defense here, like there's 2 dogs on defense. Like those are not going to do anything against like a knight and a commander. Like the Harpy is not going to stand up against the mage. Zigma's mage is much later than Bodius as
But
well.
yeah, I don't know why we've frozen it here. You can.
Oh, I mean, I was just looking at the game state, but
Yeah,
you
you
can
can
skip ahead a
go to
bit.
the critical position now, which is like when. I mean, you could say that this is a bit of a critical position, but yeah, on the big groove attack. Yeah, Spodius does this attack, and then Sigma gets some counter attack, but it's just not enough. Spodius attack was just too big, and
And oh yeah, suicides the sword, and yeah, just has enough army to finish off. So
yeah, the stronghold fell, but like it wasn't about the stronghold. Like he was just dominating after that attack.
yeah, I mean that was just Bodius playing really well, but I do think like there were some optimizations Sigma could have made, and like yeah, I mean I guess like the main thing is when you're playing against like Zawan, you need to defend your stronghold because that kind of like vine pressure is really strong. Like I think it was like a little bit in, yeah. Like you can kind of see it here. Like the vines cut the army in two, and Bodies was just able to keep applying pressure to the stronghold while keeping the opponent's army on the left hand side.
Yeah.
So yeah, nicely done. Good game one there from Spodius, and then game
But
two.
yeah, just believe that this is a CO diff.
But here's the thing. You think it's going to be CO diff, but Spodius is playing Twins and Sigma is
Oh,
playing Pistol.
I was talking about like game one.
Oh, game one, okay.
Yeah. Game two is again a very big CO diff. Bigger than game one, maybe. But it's the other way around.
Yeah, and also we see Sigma does the opening wrong.
Oh, I mean, even Spodius doesn't do it correctly, but
I mean,
Sigma
you
does it
shouldn't
the
send
worst
Commander
way
back
possible.
here, though.
Yeah, this is the worst possible thing you can do.
Yeah, I do think there was a game plan behind it, because Commander versus Commander, like, Pistol's pretty good in that position normally, but we see Commander get healed up, and then I think it's just something like he walks into lethal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Knight crits him, and then he picks the Knight up, which he could do, but he needed to do it either from a safe tile, which was
And
available,
then yeah,
or
and then
block it properly.
twins get groove like the next turn and jump scare him with the fire and lethal him.
Yeah, he got ambush grooved. Fire Emblem 6 all over again.
Except you know it's coming.
And you could have not. And much like you could like go on a weekend, look on the reinforcement. But yeah, here the Knight. Great. Best killed it. The wrong tile. Even from the wrong tile, it was salvageable if you cap from above pistol, but he capped from the wrong tile.
Yeah,
And played.
leaves the sword suicide open as well.
I mean, the
Scorching
sword would have been a full sword.
Oh yeah, actually no, you're right. Like,
No, he had to attack.
yeah, oh, you're correct. I was being silly, but yeah, just like double sword crit, and then almost half
could
this
have
video
just
is us talking
prevented
about the
the-
set as opposed to the game. Like, it was actually a 4-minute replay.
Yeah, I mean, he could have just capped that village from above pistol, and then he doesn't die. That's the funny.
Yeah,
Like even after he placed Sio in the wrong position, it was still salvageable. Like
Yeah.
that final move where the sword caps from the left pistol is where he loses the game. So funny.
and yeah. Just this is like a cool combination that Twins can do. Is like they can run in Scorching Fire and then have like 2 tiles open for crits, which I guess is like not something.
It's not too unique. Like many Zeos can do stuff like
True, but like it's just like a nice little thing, right? Like Pistol can kind of. Actually, I don't know if Pistol can do it.
pistol is one of the few who like don't really do it that much.
Yeah, but
I mean, I,
I
for this
mean,
specific thing, I'd say Caesar and Lytra do it the most and the best.
true. But there's just like something very clean about I'm gonna do 20% damage to you and then follow you up with 2 sword crits.
Yeah.
And we get to see like the perfect example of like that being that happening. So, and yeah, just like walks into a lethal, and I think if Sigma plays out that turn correctly, they're in like an okay position for the rest of the game. But
They're still far behind, but they're playing a much better CO, so it's like salvageable, right?
yeah, but
yeah, this is the main thing. It's like they're behind, but they're pistol.
Yeah.
but yeah, like you should never knock down the wall tile with your own commander. Like there's
It's not even that important. You could even leave it on for the rest of the game. But yeah, eventually a sword just does it.
yeah, I think it's
Like,
like turn
could be
3 or
third,
4. Like you
fourth.
build
Yeah.
a sword on backwards on your other barracks and it just knocks it down.
Yeah, there's no reason to rush it. It's not important. And again, you could never do it, and you wouldn't like auto lose the game because you never did it. That's the funny.
Yeah, I think the main thing is it just makes reinforcing knights from this barracks a lot better. Well, in everything because it's a forest tile.
It
but knights
accelerates
definitely
that one village too,
do. Yeah,
like the one you immediately cap after breaking the game.
but alas,
But yeah,
Ziggler falls. I think most of us predicted Spottius would take it.
yeah, but I didn't think it'd be like that big of a stomp. I thought like this would be a bit closer, and the big stomp would be KHP Skyro, but it was the opposite.
But I am excited to see them play in the lower bracket. I think it'll be interesting. And this, I think, was mostly just an opening difference. Like, if Zigma played the opening correctly, then I think they actually could have had a really good game. But
Yep.
it is what it is.
So I only got one set wrong, I think. Yeah. I mean, I got details wrong about other sets, but I only got Sparty versus sets wrong. Well, technically, I got Derek versus the Inferno wrong, but that was a D.
Well, let's take a look at what's coming up. So we've got you two up next round.
Yeah, who's the Saykoya guy? I'll easily destroy him, right?
Yeah, I'm not too confident, honestly. It's like, I think like if Mastro's gonna spend 15 minutes every turn, it's gonna be rough. I'm gonna fall asleep before the end of the game. I
I
don't
mean, if
think
you
I
fall
can
asleep, I'll
do
win,
it.
right? That's one way to win.
Surely.
We take those. We take those.
I actually lost a quick play game because my opponent was AFK and I didn't want to wait 2.5 minutes every turn to play because it would take like half an hour just to finish the game if they didn't move. But anyway, sorry.
I
A
mean,
completely
you
unrelated
can just,
story, but like
can't you ram a knight in their HQ? I mean, it's still
it's
HQ,
like
but not
if you're
30
waiting
minutes.
like 2 minutes on their turn every single time where they're not doing anything, it's like it takes a
Yeah, it
while. I
doesn't
think
feel
it
the
was on
best.
Harmonious as well, so it was gonna take
Oh,
forever.
well.
Um, but anyway, right. Come on, give us some smack talk.
I mean, I have some prep that I'm keeping hidden. So,
It's
I
fine. He
hope that
doesn't
works.
believe in the Emmerich, so I'll just pull it out on every map, right?
Yeah, he's totally gonna do that. He's totally not gonna never pick Emmerich again. Nah, he's already shown the Emmerich. This isn't his strat. He's gonna have something new, probably.
Are you two going to? Do you know when you're going to play? I guess is the other question.
Haven't asked yet.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't ask yet. We should probably get on that, huh?
Yeah, because it's 5
Yeah.
days until the end of the round at this point. So
I mean,
uh,
probably this weekend, right?
okay. Well, you get on that because I don't want to have to
Yeah, yeah.
DQ you. I'm actually really looking forward to this set. I mean,
Well,
this
our
could
time
be.
zones are like super close, so it won't be hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, just gotta like not go on a trip around the clock again.
Exactly.
Okay.
Which, there is a chance we both do it as well, I guess.
I
Actually, I think
mean,
both
if
of
we
you are
both
staying up
do it,
late.
that's
Yeah.
yeah.
And me. Like I went to bed at like 8 in the morning. So, yeah, we're all us Europeans are staying up later than Americans right now.
That's funny.
Okay. Well, it's
But
gonna be hard for you two to do predictions. I mean, actually, we'll do score
I always
predictions
think,
because I assume you two are gonna predict you'll win, right?
yeah, I'm gonna predict myself, of
I
course.
mean, you just gotta look at like the last time we faced in a tournament, and
You
that's
just
all
gotta
there's to
look at
say.
our history in general, right? Our tournament record. Why look at the last set? That's the only one I lost.
Yeah, it's the only one that matters.
Hey, that's just unlucky from me. But the other sets were more decisive, and I won them too.
Okay. Well,
But
I
yeah,
mean,
I'm gonna predict
eh,
2-1 Saykoya.
there we go. That's all you need to know.
wow, that's the safest prediction, but no spice.
I mean,
I mean,
I think timer. Like I watched a ranked game Saykoya played, was like a week ago or something, and he got to turn 20 on Gilgamesh with like both players stalling with big armies, and there was 40 minutes left on the clock, and he was still playing super well. And I'm just like, there's no way Mastro could keep up with this on timer. Like,
Oh no, I'm not gonna keep up on the clock, but there are other ways to play the game. I'm gonna leave it at that.
okay.
I think I have pretty good chance of winning. To be honest, I'm not sure exactly how
You
high they are.
think?
I think they're pretty good. Um, I also really don't want to go to losers right now because it's gonna be
Yeah,
KHP.
losers is kind of scary actually. There's a bunch of people over there that are pretty scary.
Well, they're not that scary for Saykoya, so I have a mental edge. Like I'm more scared of going to losers. For him, he probably survives losers easily. For me, it's very risky. So I care about this set more, and it's also probably better timing for me. Like Saykoya is usually better at middle to end of the tournament. I'm better at the very start, and then maybe grand finals again, whereas I fall off middle to end. I'd say.
Yeah, but I think there's some maps we haven't seen in the tournament yet, and I don't think Mastro's ready for them.
Hmm.
Ooh. Okay.
That's interesting. So Saykoya is saying he is ready for that.
I mean,
That's
yeah, you better ban them,
no,
I
yeah, exactly.
actually, that does remind me. Like, we actually saw a lot more open, like, variety of maps in the first round than I thought we would. Like, I always thought we were just gonna see Headland game one every single time, but people were playing Locust. Like, people were playing Gilgamesh. People were playing Heartlands. The Heartlands? Heartless.
Heartseeker.
Heartseeker?
Heartseeker.
Oh my god, that's hard.
Heart
Stop
something.
saying Headland to everything.
Yeah, but we didn't see Headland every single set, which I appreciated. Because for as much as I like that map, it is nice to see some variety. So, okay. Anything else to say before we move on to Sparky and Sneaky?
No, but I
I'm
think
just
it'll be a
gonna
good
say
set.
the times when you won against me, you didn't win the tournament afterwards.
Oh,
Well, the time you won against me, there weren't any of the great players other than me to stop you.
Yeah, sure.
okay.
I mean, I had to play Zeronix after I beat
Imagine
you.
getting 3-0'd in the finals. Couldn't be me.
I mean,
Okay, all right. Let's go Sparky versus Sneaky then. Um, I mean, we need to know if this is actually gonna happen because I know Sneaky's had health stuff. I think that we brought this up on the podcast before, so hopefully this does go ahead. So assuming that they actually play and like it's all good on that front, um, how do you feel this is gonna go?
Sparky. I mean, I said I wasn't underestimating him, and I knew he was good. But now there is even more proof about it. And Sneaky has said that he's not gonna take this tournament that seriously, and he also has the health issues. So I think Sparky will have the advantage here. I do think Sneaky will catch him with something at some point. Uh, but will it even be enough to win a game? Probably will, but not the set. So I think a 2-1 Sparky is the safe prediction here. I'll go for that.
Well, I think I said in my round one predictions, it's hard to go against Sneaky because he always manages to find a way.
Yeah, that's also true.
I think you're both right. Like I think it's kind of difficult to tell. It really just depends on which version of Sneaky Dragon shows up. Because I could tell, like, if this was like Prime Sneaky Dragon, like 2-0, like no
I
question in my
wouldn't
mind.
say 2-0 easily. It could be 2-0. Yeah, but
But
Sparky has gotten really good.
yeah, but I think
Yeah, it's hard
something
to say.
something I appreciated watching Sparky versus Sechan is even when Sparky was in a winning position, like he was still able to like lose or take worse trades.
Yeah.
And I think Sneaky is a player that can also do well in those circumstances where like they'll
Yeah,
outplay in army fights.
it does
Well,
feel
yeah, the
like
experienced players do that the best
rep
usually.
rep
Yeah.
versus fundamentals moment. It feels.
Yeah. But
Crazy that we're saying Sneaky is the better player fundamentals wise here. You know, he's always been throughout
I,
his career the
he
bad
has very
fundamentals.
good fundamentals.
I think he's been playing the game for 5 years now.
Yeah.
So it's just like there comes a
I mean,
point where you're just like,
he worked on them recently. Like for Groove of War 8, he worked on his fundamentals and 7 kinda. And now he's actually really good. But I'm just saying, like historically, it sounds
yeah.
really funny to say Sneaky is the one with the better fundamentals, especially against a solid player like Sparty. But yeah, it's the experience thing. The experience matters, and Sneaky now has good fundamentals.
So I do think Sparky will take it, but if Sneaky shows up and plays like to his best capability, like I could see him totally taking it too. So I'm gonna say
Yeah, yeah.
2-1 Sparky, but it
And for
could
me,
really
it's not that
go.
I'm not trusting Sneaky. It's that I'm trusting his words. He's saying he won't take this that seriously. He'll try to just play for fun. So, you know, I'm trusting that
I
this
don't
is
know.
what will actually happen. And in that case, I think Sparty will. But yeah, if
I don't know.
Sneaky for some reason changes his mind and heavily tryhards, I could see him.
I think if this was round 1, I would go more for Sparky, but this is round 2, so Sneaky will have like watched a bunch of games, so he'll gain information from that. He also has played a few games, so he also has some information from that. I don't know. Feels it feels like how do I put this? If I compare to Sejhan, like between Sneaky and Sejhan, who do you think is better at, like we saw in game 2 of Sparky Sejhan, like even if Sparky was ahead, Sejhan was starting to come back little by little, and
Yeah.
you know it was looking way less one-sided suddenly.
I think Setshan is pretty uniquely good at doing that, specifically in grind.
Yeah, but I think Sneaky is even better at that, right?
Not the way Setshan does it. Sneaky can come back, but it's usually with some explosive tactic. Setshan slowly outgrinds you from a slightly losing position. It's very different. Like for the slow out grinding kind of thing, experience and fundamentals matter more. But if Sneaky plays his more old school style, which is what he said he would, and goes for the more explosive things, that's more of a tactical thing. And I think his Sparky is more tactically sound than he is like sound at playing those slow grindy positions. So I think he will be less vulnerable to Sneaky's ability to come back than he was to Sedsan's ability to come back. That said, Sedsan's ability to come back also didn't end up being enough.
Yeah, but I'm saying like Sneaky is kind of the master of finding ways to flip the game around.
Yeah.
And you
And it,
know, wasn't enough for Sejun, and I think it will be enough for Sneaky, and that's about it.
so you are picking Sneaky. 2-1 or
Yes.
2-0?
2-1. It's hard to say 2-0 for Sneaky too.
Yeah. That's fair.
Because, you know,
It'll probably be a good set.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, that's like one thing that's been very consistent for me looking at all the lineup of games is that I think they're all going to be good sets.
Hmm. Except this one, maybe. I mean, no disrespect to the Inferno. This one, I mean the next one.
Oh yeah,
I'm guessing we're moving on.
yeah.
Sparky
We'll
Sneaky,
move
yeah.
on. I think this is a difficult one because the Inferno got a bye, so I actually have no idea how good he is right now because I haven't seen any of his gameplay recently.
But he wasn't expected to win this one. He was like sit 15. He was expected to lose this game to Derek. Derek couldn't play, so the Inferno moves on to winners to fight Warble. And Warble had a very convincing performance against
yeah.
Evercam. It's very hard to pick the Inferno here.
Yeah,
I
I think it's gonna be. I'm gonna go for the 2-0 Warble too.
I'm also gonna go to a Warble. I really want the Inferno to come up to like show up and put on a good performance, and I would be thrilled to see him win. Right? Like, I mean, I'm thrilled to see anybody win because I think it's like awesome to see people like doing well. I just want to see good games, right, and good sets.
Yeah.
But I think Warble's really good. And yeah, 2-0 to MVAKM, which is also a very good player. So yeah, but
Yeah, and the Inferno, we saw him. We haven't seen him yet in the tournament, but we did see us playing the quals, and he had some good games, like mainly on heist. But when not on heist, his play was kind of suspicious. Like, yeah,
well, we're
it
gonna
doesn't feel like Warble would lose to that. Again, there is a possibility of Warble dropping a game because Warble isn't the most consistent in that he lost to Sigma once, even though he was much better, and we saw how Sigma performed here.
yeah.
Uh, but if Warble doesn't troll, I think it'll be a 2-0. So that's what I'm predicting. I think Warble won't troll. I think Warble will take this very seriously and will win the game in a row.
Fair enough. I mean, that's really all there is to it. I mean, we just don't know enough about the Inferno's like level of play right now. I think to
Yeah, and what we've seen wasn't like super impressive.
yeah,
I
but
thought it was
that was a
bad.
couple months ago at this point.
Nah, that's true. That's true.
So
He might have leveled up without our
yeah,
knowledge.
there's enough time since the last time we saw the Inferno compared to now where yeah, like there.
But you have to use the information you have available
Yes,
in
that's
making
also
the
very
prediction.
true. Okay, Skyra versus Spottius.
Oh, that's gonna be an interesting one.
I am really struggling to say who wins this. I actually favor Spottius right now.
Yeah, I mean, from the round one performance, you really want to say Spottius,
You
but you know,
expect
it's not.
Skyro to return to form, though.
Yeah, it's not all about round one.
Also, I mean, it's annoying because like I like them both as people, but Spottius is just such a nice
You know what?
person. I'm just like, oh, I really want to see him do well. Like, there's also that element. I mean, I really like Skyro too, so it's like really difficult to say. But
I think Spottius has just been a bit annoying, getting on my nerves with some of his smack talk recently. So I think I'm gonna vote Skyro here.
okay,
I mean,
And I will say
yeah,
2-0. There we go.
2-0. That's interesting. It's very much a question of what kind of Skyro we'll see. Again, this seems to be a common theme. I don't think Skyro will be at peak, but I think he will have recovered enough l- of his level of play to win the set. I think it will be very close. Though.
I
So I'm
think
saying like Skyro by close to 1.
okay. I'm gonna pick Spottius 2-1. I Skyro's looking a little bit rusty in that last set, and Spottius I think could do well. Like from what I've seen lately, Spottius seems to be playing well, but yeah, I mean I think this is gonna be one of the better sets in this round anyway.
Yeah, and I expect it to be very close. Yeah. That said, Spotties you have to also take into account looked very good because he was playing Zigma, who was probably the weakest player in round 1
That we saw at least, I
that we
guess.
saw. Yeah, of course. Obviously, yeah, we can't count the games that weren't played. Yeah, Derek was the weakest player because he didn't show up, even a free win.
Yeah.
But like, no, I mean like in the actual game.
Okay. So we got our predictions in. Uh, I actually need to run to the bathroom, so we're gonna wrap this up fairly quickly. There's only two lower bracket sets. Mr. Cat
Yeah,
versus Disobeyed.
I
How?
mean, I think it will be close.
I actually have no idea who would win this because they're both good players, and like Mr. Cat could have taken a game of Saykoya in the first round.
They're both in a similar boat. Yeah, and this could have taken a game of me. Like, he had some moments where he was ahead. Like, he then threw the game, but those moments didn't exist. And he was better than I expected. But both of those players are in a very similar boat. They used to be a lot worse, and suddenly they've improved a lot. And
This
now
is
they're
also
actually good.
they're both on the map team as well. So anybody that wants to come and say, "Oh, map team bias," you've got two people on the map team in round one facing each other with a lower bracket. So, but I actually genuinely don't know who's gonna win. Like, I don't think I can make a prediction because
You gotta pick something.
I guess like 2-1 Disso, but like there's also the factor of like scheduling as well. I mean, I think they'll be okay on that front. I think they're both kind of close to each other as far as time zones go.
And also, like, this just got hit by it, so he probably will be more careful from now on, hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, so I think
Disso's in
it's
Twitch
funny.
chat. Disso, if you're in Twitch chat, please let me know if you've actually scheduled your set or not.
Uh, it's funny. This last time we talked about this thing, she will smoke cat. I mean, I don't think he's gonna smoke cat. I think Mr. Cat has improved a lot, but I think this is gonna work. Uh, it's gonna be close though. And this drops lethal. Like, you saw it in our game, you saw it in his set against Warble where he dropped lethal in a winning position. Uh, he makes his games are usually very tactical, and he does really well at most of the tactics. But sometimes his brain just melts and he drops a lethal or something else that's free. So I think that's gonna cost him a game at least. But I do think, other than that, he's still slightly better. That said, very slightly. I think the games are all gonna be close. I think there's gonna be 3 close games and 2 this is gonna edge him out. 1 is gonna get lethal or something. So I could very much see it going the other way, and this gets lethal twice instead. Mm,
Okay.
but I'm gonna pick this 2-1.
How about you, Saykoya?
Uh, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna say disobeyed. 2-0 probably.
Really? I
Yeah.
thought you'd pick your opponent because if Mr. Cat wins, that makes you look better.
Well.
He didn't think of
No,
that. But
No,
okay.
how dare Mr. Cat make me sweat like that? The first game of the tournament. Come on.
Oh, so you're expecting him to get
Get them
punished.
out.
Uh, damn. But then that would make you look really bad. Like, you almost lost to the guy who lost 0-2 and got out of the tournament losers round 1. Oh, man, that's
I
like...
don't care. It'll make you look even worse when you lose to me then.
Fair, fair. Okay, sure.
Okay.
If I lose to you.
Right, right.
Okay. Other
Wow, so
sets.
everybody's speaking this, so I didn't expect that. I thought it would be like very close and would debate it for a while. No?
I think it's gonna be close, and it like if Mr. Cat wins, I'm not surprised either. Like I'm just picking Disso because I think they have like a very slight edge, but I mean I'm also completely open to being proven wrong. So
Also, I hate that I'm picking this because I really don't like how he's like, oh, he's already thinking about his next opponent. Like, Skyro or Spodius, I can probably beat either one, he's saying. And it's like, we're not sure you can beat Mr. Cat. Relax. Um,
okay, next set, which has already happened, and the tournament result will get put in
Yeah.
Veteran versus Zested. Are we gonna predict who wins, or are we just
I
gonna?
mean, we're just gonna tell people what happened. So normally this shouldn't have happened. Like we would be predicting this set right now, but because Setson had to go on vacation again, which you heard from him, he was on vacation, like, but had a few moments to pop into the podcast. Yeah, because he is on vacation right now, had to play early, and props to Zested for playing early. It was a pretty good set. Uh, yeah,
Yeah.
Setson took it.
I look forward to checking out the replays. I'll probably do that on Sunday.
Yeah, we'll talk about the set more when after the games have been shown on
Yeah,
stream.
we'll talk more about the set, in the
Next podcast.
Yeah, but this has
with
already
the
happened.
other
And
with the other games of the round.
yeah, and speaking of things that have already happened, Derek versus MVKM. Derek had to drop out of the tournament entirely. I got a very lovely message from them on YouTube. I think they responded to the podcast actually. And they appreciated that we were being so nice about them having to drop out. And yeah, like if people have to drop out, they got to drop out. Like I'm not gonna throw a fit or anything over it.
I mean, it is a bit annoying for me because I wanted to get my revenge.
But like
Wow,
it sounded pretty serious, and
talking
it's
too
just like
fast.
yeah. I mean, if someone was just like, oh, like Wargroove sucks or something, I don't really want to play anymore. Like I'd be that's very different. But like I'd still at least understand that. Like if someone's not enjoying the game, like I'm not gonna force them to play it. We've had situations in the past where it was like Ash and someone else. It was this like chess player that was also really good and was very obnoxious, and I'm gonna say that because they were. And like I think those two had a bet going on as to who could make it further in the tournament. And yeah, like neither of them I think really. I think Ash was enjoying it, but like the other person was just like clearly just there to prove a point and didn't actually like Wargroove all that much. I was just like seeing them play anyway, despite not really liking the game, kind of like wasn't like kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know about you guys, but this was quite a while ago as well. This might have been
It's
Groove of War
usually
4.
miserable when you do that because as good as Wargroove is, when it becomes a job instead of a hobby, it's not so good anymore. Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
never fun to play things you don't like in general. Like that's the whole point of games, and you don't play as
it's
well.
work.
Yeah,
You don't want it to
I
become
don't
work.
like work, and I work moment.
I think that's
I mean, work is less fun than game. I
Yeah.
I think it's in the definition.
but yeah, like for whatever reason, like if you go to drop out, like I would much rather people take a step back than feel like they're forced to be here. Because they're just like they're not gonna play well in that circumstance, and like you're more likely to just like throw in the towel if you're gonna lose and stuff. So, like yeah.
Yeah.
But
Anyway,
anyway, I hope Derek.
final set.
We wish Derek all the best, and we hope to see them more in the
Yeah.
future.
Maybe we'll see him next year.
Yeah, I hope so. And obviously there's like TYM and some other stuff coming up later this year too. So.
Yeah,
But
I heard he's killing everybody in TYM Fog.
oh yeah, like
Yeah,
he's an
Derek
absolute
is
beast in
like-
Fog. Like it's really enjoyable to watch Derek play Fog. So I hope we get to see
Yeah,
more of that.
they're like Derek is playing Fog when you're like, oh, that makes sense. You can only do that in Fog. It's not like other players who play Fog and they're like, oh, I'm just gonna fundamentals my way through, and then it's like basically a normal game with extra steps.
Hmm.
Okay,
So,
last set, KHB versus Sigma.
I mean, that's pretty easy, right?
I don't know. I mean, I'll let you talk first.
I think Saykoya should go first this time.
Okay.
Okay, I think KHB and Sigma, they're both like players that like are unconventional, I guess, but KHB is kind of known for having his own play style because he manages to make it work in ways that you really shouldn't work. And Sigma is more like unconventional because because there's a lack of experience, basically. So I would put KHB over Sigma for that reason.
I mean, kids people smoke him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think KHB will win, but I think it's going to be closer than you two give it credit for. One thing I will say, this set is going to be bonkers. Like nobody's going to do anything that like we would expect to see in any other set played this tournament.
I think JHB's playstyle is very hard to counter when you're behind out of the opening. And it's also even harder to counter when you don't have amazing fundamentals. And Sigma is going to be behind out of the opening every game and doesn't have amazing fundamentals. He's just going to get rolled, I think. I think it's going to be like the easiest prediction of this tournament. I don't think there's any chance. I mean, there's always a chance, but I don't think there is a reasonable chance, a significant chance KHP drops a game. And I think it's impossible that he drops the full set unless something happens IRL.
Okay. I'm gonna predict 2-1 KHB. I think Sigma will do some weird stuff and take a game. But I do think you're right that KHB like right now is like better. But I mean it could also be that he just walks into a lethal like he did that against Skyro. So
I mean, has Sigma even shown the ability to find lethals?
there's been a bunch
I
of
guess
TYM games with Sigma. Like if you go on the YouTube channel you can find a whole bunch of Sigma
TYM
games.
is
So.
completely different though. Like
True, but I mean he also made it to finals of the
like
qualifier that he was in, so I don't know. Like I
yeah.
think Sigma has like the potential to take a game. Like I think that is
Yeah, I mean, it's possible, but I mean, I wouldn't bet on it, I guess. It's
I
not my
also trusted
prediction, I
Sigma to
guess.
take a game of Spottius because he had that win over Warble, and then look how he played. So yeah, I'm
true.
not trusting him again until I see something. I got betrayed. My fifis are hurt.
Okay.
So off you go. For a moment.
Well,
Oh wait, off you
Sigma,
go.
I'm
What
rooting
would be
for
fun?
you. I want to see you take a game. So if you hear this, then
Yeah, I mean, it would be really nice to see Sigma take a game, to be honest.
I mean, I think it won't be because I think if he takes a game, it will just be mostly KSP making a huge blunder. But if
But
he
that's
actually takes,
KHB's whole playstyle.
sure, but like,
is one giant blunder that somehow works.
yeah, but I'm saying like if he actually heavily outplays KHP the whole game and then wins, that would be great to watch. But if it's just like, oh, KHP is crashing him and then he makes a big blunder and loses instantly, I mean, I don't love those games. They're certainly entertaining. They don't feel like, oh, we just saw a good game. It feels like we just saw like a non-game. But whatever. Anyway, it'll be funny just because it'll be unexpected to get Sigma on the board, I guess. But still, if we do see that, I hope it happens the quote unquote proper way.
right. Yeah, like it's. I mean, like when we
You'd
watched
rather
like game
see
2
like
Sigma
good
versus
good
Spottius.
gameplay than two-time keys.
Yeah, I don't want to see Sigma versus Spottius like game 2 again, like where it's just like the commander walked forward into a lethal and then died. Like I
Yeah,
don't want to see
then
that
like
from the other
7.
player.
What there was it?
Yeah, it was super. Like, there was a 4-minute replay. Like I don't want to see any more 4-minute replays, unless it's like something hilarious. But okay, I think that's us. I need to run to the bathroom, so I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you everybody for stopping by. Thank you, Mastro and Saykoya. This was a lot of fun. And
Yeah, thanks for the stream. Lol.
yeah, we're gonna do another one of these podcasts next week after the round is done. And I have to say, oh, I'm going to be streaming on Sunday, and this podcast should be up tomorrow, so Saturday if you're on YouTube. but I need to go and do things. So I will catch everybody later. Have a good night, everybody, and I'll see you all soon.
See ya.